Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me join with you in welcoming my brother and counterpart from St. Lucia. He is here in Guyana for the last 3 days, looking at models that we have been doing in the agriculture sector so that he can replicate that in St. Lucia. So I want the honorable member to know, and my brother there, he is very impressed. He told me this morning that he's very impressed with the development taking place in the agriculture sector. And you know something? We listen attentively when somebody have a speech and reading it. I was planning to take a different line this morning, but I have to change this. Because you know why? We had just heard a lot of misinformation, a lot of untruth, and things that doesn't make any sense. We heard the honorable member Jordan said that they're making inroads. They're making inroads in the PPP area. Well, I have in my hand here the result for the last 3 local government elections. I have in my hands the results of the local government election for 2016, 2018, and 2023. So, Mr. Speaker, in 2016, the PPPC controls 52 LAA out of 70. APNU 21. In 2018, Mr. Speaker, the PPPC controlled 57 out of 71. Mr. Speaker, in 2023, the APNU AFC were slaughtered by the PPP because we took 67 out of 80. Mr. Speaker, when you come to this assembly, you must come with fact. Don't come here with propaganda. Mr. Speaker, we took away from them, we took Madhya, we took Bartika, we made inroad in New Amsterdam, we made inroad in Georgetown, and we slaughtered them so much that they can't catch themselves up today, and they want to get into government. They want to be the next government. If they are so loved by the people of our country, after 3 years in government, the next local government election will take all 80 LAA area in this country. So, Mr. Speaker, when you come here, come with facts. Don't come and say you make inroads in Bushlat. What Bushlat is a small community. Bushlat is a small community. But make inroads in Georgetown, in Bartika, in Madhya, in New Amsterdam. Those are the areas that we talk about, Mr. Speaker. The other thing is, we just heard the honorable member say what is in the budget for the poor and the farmers. I will tell him just now. But at this point, let me take the opportunity to compliment my brother here and his team for bringing a budget to this National Assembly that is comprehensive and a budget that has benefit for every single Guyanese. Mr. Speaker, this budget will see the continuation of the unprecedented rapid development that we started 3 years ago in August of 2020. Inasmuch as the opposition would continue to shut their eyes to the ongoing positive transformation all across the country, this progressive development will not be surprise to anyone, given the PPP proven track record of development and bringing good things to the people of our country. Mr. Speaker, we heard just now the honorable member talk about agriculture. Who is interested in agriculture? Well, I want to tell the honorable member what were the investment in agriculture. Mr. Speaker, in 2014, the last year of the PPP civic government before we came out of office in 2015, the budgetary allocation in the agriculture sector was $15.4 billion. And Mr. Speaker, in 2019, the last full year for the APNU AFC government, instead of increasing the allocation, as they so love agriculture, as they so like agriculture, and they want agriculture to be the backbone of Guyana's economy, what they did, they reduced the budgetary allocation to $13.1 billion. Mr. Speaker, from 2020 to 2023, we have budgeted and expended $122 billion as against APNU $93 billion for 5 years. Mr. Speaker, for this year alone, the agriculture budget of $97.6 billion will be more than the 5 years that the APNU spent in agriculture in their term in office. So, Mr. Speaker, I will tell you just now what we will show. So, Mr. Speaker, let me tell you what we can show. Let me tell you what we can show. For, Mr. Speaker, for 2023, compare growth to 2019, let me tell you what we can show. In 2023, sugar grew by 28%, right? In 2019, sugar declined by 11.8%. Rice expanded in 2023 by 7%. In 2019, rice barely increased by 1%. Other crops expanded by 4.1% in 2023. In 2019, other crops barely increased by 0.3%. Livestock grew by 12.7% in 2023. In 2019, livestock declined by 3.5%. Fishing, Mr. Speaker, the fishing industry grew by 37.8% and 75% in the aquaculture sector. You know what they had? They had a decline of minus 0.39%. That's the development we're talking about. That's the development we're talking about. And Mr. Speaker, that's what we have to show. That we have to show. That is there to show the young people of our country today. The young people of our country today, they are not being told to go and do plantainship, cook up rice, and dog food, and pepper sauce. Young people today, they are involved in agriculture. One project that the senior minister of finance talk about, the hydroponics project that will start in regions 2, region 5, and 10, where over 300 young people from each project will be involved. We are not telling them we have a policy. We have a policy to ensure that Guyana becomes food secure. We have a policy to ensure that. Now, this brings me to sugar. Mr. Speaker, this brings me to sugar. Probably the young man didn't read this report. His government, the APNU AFC government, set up this commission of inquiry into the sugar industry. He talking, I have to bring it and tell you, and the outcome, he talking about rice sizing. I don't know what the honorable member referring to rice sizing. Hear what this commission of inquiry said. The way forward, the sugar industry remains vital and important to the country of Guyana and its people, many of whom have their lives touched by the sugar industry. The sugar industry must be given an opportunity not just to survive, but to be revitalized and to become a vibrant, efficient, and profitable business where employees have a sense of security and optimal use can be made of resources. Mr. Speaker, this is the commission of inquiry. So they're talking about decline in the industry. Mr. Speaker, they're talking about decline of the sugar industry. And I want to go through this figure and tell them where the decline and when the decline started. Now, Mr. Speaker, in 2014, you all can't take it, you're hurting.
Honorable members, we have an obligation to listen to the presenter. The standing orders are quite clear.
Mr. Speaker,
Quite clear.
Mr. Speaker, permit me.
Honorable Leader, are you raising an point of order?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the truth is we have committed to not heckling, but it has to be reciprocal.
Honorable Leader of the Opposition, I don't see your point of order. I said we have an obligation to listen to the speaker. I never said any side.
On both sides. On both sides, it can't be convenient.
I didn't pull any string. All I said, we have an obligation. That is simple English. And I can say it in Patois if you want to hear Patois. Very simple. Honorable Leader of the Opposition, and I would like to ask you, please, if you want to stand on a point of order, the standing order says you stand and say point of order and you cite the standing order, not just to stand. Honorable members, please. We've had this meeting yesterday with the chief whips, and we started very well. Very, very well. Honorable Minister of Agriculture, you may proceed.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I was saying that the decline of the sugar industry didn't start under the PPP civic government. So I will give the facts. Listen to the facts, Mr. Speaker. In 2014, when the last full year for us, when we were in office, sugar grew by 16%. Sugar grew by 16%. We made a target of 216,357 tons. In 2015, Mr. Speaker, half year they took over government from March. The sugar industry started to decline. It gone to 7% increase in the sugar industry at that point. But from 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, the sugar industry declined by 21%, 25%, 24%, 12%. So, Mr. Speaker, you could see who caused the sugar industry to decline. Because they were against sugar. And if you listen to the tone, what they are coming with to this honorable house, talking about sugar workers, they seems to have a problem with sugar workers. We don't hear them talk anything about the subsidies we put in the budget for places like Linden and Kwakwani, almost $5 billion in subsidies. We are, as a government, we are ensuring that every single group in our country receive resources fairly. We are not saying that one group. That is why people are embracing this party, the People's Progressive Party Civic, because they see the ideology. They are coming in drove, and by the next election in 2025, they will be wiped out from the map of Guyana, and you'll have only the PPPC to prevail. Mr. Speaker, then they closed down the 4 estate. They caused 7,000 sugar workers to be placed on the breadline. They caused about 28,000 families, sugar workers with families. Families were broken up. People had to travel to different areas to seek employment. That was APNU AFC action. Mr. Speaker, what is happening to the sugar industry today? Just 3 years, If you follow this Commission of Inquiry report and the way forward, what we have been doing, today the sugar industry is once again becoming vibrant. We are seeing growth in the sugar industry. This year, we have seen a 28% growth in the sugar industry. Last year, sorry. And this year, further it will go another 66% to ensure that we make 100,000 tons of sugar. That's the turnover that we're talking about. That's the progress. So when you come here and you come to Rabble Rouse and you're talking about this and that without a speech, you can't make a speech without facts. You got a prepared speech, come in and read, bury your head in it and read it. You can't come and debate. You can't come and debate facts. Mr. Speaker, the sugar industry, as I said, we will continue to revitalize and recapitalize, because when we took over in 2020, when we went to these estates, we inherited damaged ponds, factories were damaged, fields were abandoned. We had to have resources, make resources available to ensure that we get back these factories in operation. And Mr. Speaker, we are standing to our promises that we have made. We have started the reopening of the closed sugar estate, and Rosal is an example where thousands of workers are once again employed. Mr. Speaker, the rice industry. The honorable member probably, who prepared his speech, didn't tell him that his farmer leader said, right? They didn't tell him that the farmer leader, they didn't tell him that the farmer leader said that the rice industry is a private business. Rice industry is a private business. You all remember that? You all remember, you all left the farmers in the cool, and the Panama payment is still outstanding. $7 million US. You left the farmers in debt. That is the legacy of the AP and UAFC. But I want to tell you that this government, the PPP civic government, will recoup that money for the farmers in our country. You all remember the pressure you put on the rice farmers, especially in Region 5, DNI and land rental charges from $3,500 to $15,000. When we took a motion to the parliament, you all used your one-seat majority to defeat the motion. And we said when we return to government, we will reverse that. And we did reverse that. And because of that reversal, the farmers today are putting back in their pocket almost $1.3 billion. That is the kind of work we are doing. We are not coming here and say a parcel Bora for $100. That's Bora mentality. That man wants to be the Minister of Agriculture, coming here and say about a Bora, celery, bygone, squash. That's the man. That's the honorable member. He is a squash mentality minister, a Bora mentality minister, like the opposition leader talked about Bora the other day too, and celery. So the whole party are Bora mentality. That's the mentality of these parties, like pepper sauce, Bora, and everything. Mr. Speaker, as I'm speaking here, the rice industry is moving apace. We have seen increase in production. For last year, we were able to increase production by 41,000 tons. And this year again, we set a target of 710,000 tons to increase production from 653,000 tons to 710,000 tons. That's the progress I'm talking about. We brought out a new variety called the zinc-enriched rice, the bio-fortified rice. Today, those varieties are being given to farmers. That variety will attract preferential prices around the world. That is the kind of thing we are doing. We are doing research. We are bringing development to the farmers. Not tell me about Abora. All the projects that they had, they talk about Ithaca, they talk about Buxton, they talk about BV. All the projects fail. And if you go into those communities today, the people are embracing us. Look, in Buxton, I did all the sucker drain. for Buxton Friendship. In Ithaca, you can go to Ithaca now. I can call people there. I went to Ithaca. I met with the farmers. We are clearing land. We are doing DNI work. We are getting the farmers to return to the land. We are getting the farmers to return to the land. Right in their area where they call their stronghold, places like Belladrum, Fowles, Paradise. We are clearing lands for farmers because the president visited those areas and made commitment to the farmers, and we are executing those commitments. They said that a place like Barakara is their stronghold. What is happening to Barakara today? The People's Progressive Party is the most welcoming party in Barakara. The Barakara community, now what we did, we are putting them into economic activity. We have started the production of red beans in Barakara. We give them tractor, we give them pumps, we give them fertilizer, we give them solar panel. What they did to the people of Barakara? Nothing. Nothing, and they come in here and talk Robbie Rose. Mr. Speaker, we heard about contracts. We heard about pumps contracts. Well, the Ministry of Agriculture or the PPP civic government don't give contracts. We have a National Procurement and Tendering Administration, public procurement, and the contract has been awarded there. So if they have, and they have agencies where they can go and question, have the PPC, let them write and get the information. But they come in here, raise issues which they cannot substantiate. They come into the House and raise issues and they can't substantiate. So, Mr. Speaker, the DNI, we still have the 12 fire engine pumps that you bought, 12 fire engine pump that was bought under APNU AFC, the small size pump, which they procure from India. We are still suffering from those pumps. Mr. Speaker, as I'm speaking, yes, we had pump station that was awarded last year, but it's a rollover project. The member probably doesn't know about the budget cycle. It's a rollover project. The completion date for these projects are March, April, and throughout the year. And we are monitoring these projects. These projects have consultants. And we are meeting to ensure that these projects be on track. So I don't know what the honorable member is referring to. They just come in here with fluff, a lot of fluff. Mr. Speaker, then we heard the honorable member talk about mega project. Well, this year, for his information, expression of interest is out already for the Hope Light Canal in Region 5 and Region 6. The expression of interest is out, and very shortly, within months, those projects will be commenced. Mr. Speaker, you can remember, because this country, what we are doing, we are ensuring that we modernize the infrastructure of this country. And my brother will tell you, when he come here and he went across, we are so impressed that he said when he go back, he will tell his prime minister that the projects that the Guyana government is doing, that we are on track to achieve 25 by 2025. I'm speaking in front of him. I'm speaking in front of him. That's the fact. Those are the facts. Mr. Speaker, then we heard about Region 1, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The opposition leader, who is always sleeping, or probably somewhere in some alley, he doesn't understand what is happening in the country.
Honorable Minister, keep it good. I can't impute.
All right. As you say. Mr. Speaker, on a recent interview, a newsroom interview, the honorable opposition leader said, and I want to quote, he said, it has to be, he said, Mr. Norton recently interviewed newsroom where he said we have to stop being dependent on regions 2, 3, part of 4, 5, and 6 for agriculture. It has to be expanded and linked to agro-processing. Probably the opposition leader sleeping. Doesn't know what's happening in this country. Mr. Speaker, in Region 1, we term that region the spice region in our country. the spice region. We have turmeric, we have ginger, we have nutmeg, and those crops are being expanded. As I'm speaking today, we have 300 acres of ginger that will be harvested shortly, where we'll have almost 2 million pounds of ginger coming out of Region 1. Mr. Speaker, we have 100 acres of turmeric being grown right now in Region 1. We have $28 million planting material we have distributed in Region 1. Mr. Speaker, as I said, expansion and processing facility at Hosororo, Kumaka, all those areas we have expanded and we have put in agro-processing facilities. We have put in agro-processing facilities. Mr. Speaker, that was a white elephant. They built a cassava factory without the equipment. Without the equipment. When I went there, the people said, Minister, there is no equipment. They have no AFC. Typical behavior, no equipment in there. They put in some equipment at Parika, they turn it wrong side. So when they push in the cassava, it come out of the wrong side without any grinding. That's the kind of way they're doing it. Mr. Speaker, in Region 7, we have solar dryer in Cameroon. We have a $45 million investment for cold storage in Bartica. That is in progress right now. We did shade house to the young people in Bartica. We give tools. We did $128 million work to expand the DNI system. All those works were done in Bartica in 2023. Mr. Speaker, in Region 8, we empowering agriculture growth. We did over 900 farmers we give support to in terms of agriculture inputs and equipment. $5 million support for the hot meal kitchen in Region 8. We give them tractor with implement for Kato and Monkey Mountain. We have the seedling resuscitation and enhanced accessibility initiative. All those programs in Region 8. Region 9, Mr. Speaker. Region 9 has been a success story for us. In Region 9 today, almost 9 villages are growing their own rice in Region 9. I have provided a small rice harvester for the people in Region 9. And they are now producing their own rice. That's an achievement for us. That's an achievement for us. Mr. Speaker, we are supporting the women's group. We have in Region 9, we have 5 agro-processing facilities. Places like St. Ignatius, places like North, Deep South. Mr. Speaker, I challenge you. I challenge the honorable member to take him to Region 9 and show him all the agro-processing facilities that we have done in Region 9. Like them, they always doubt, you know. Then I got no... Mr. Speaker, in Region 10, for the first time in the history of this country, we are constructing a conservancy in Region 10. For the first time in the history of this country, we are making input in Region 10. Mr. Speaker, we have pasture establishment of $164 million. We have Watuka. We did an agro-processing facility at Watuka. I myself commissioned that. We have the hydroponics project that the president have launched at the recent Agri-Investment Expo, where hundreds of young people from Linden will benefit from this hydroponics project. Mr. Speaker, they are worried. You know why they are worried? Because we have a plan for the young people in our country. Today, droves, hundreds, thousands of young people are getting themselves involved in agriculture. When we look at the growth, they are talking about development in agriculture. When we look at the growth, taking out the oil and gas sector growth, taking out the forestry and the construction sector growth, 7% is a monumental achievement for us in the agriculture sector. Many countries around the world are contracting. Today, only the agriculture sector alone is growing by 7%. And this year, we'll see it grow by almost 10.4%. That's the way we're doing, and we're talking about agriculture. Today, Guyana is leading the charge in agriculture. And my good brother over there can testify to the fact. My good brother over there, the Minister of Agriculture from Barbados, came here with his team. The Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines came here with his team. The Minister of Trinidad and Tobago came here with his team. The Minister of St. Lucia and his team is here. What they are coming to Guyana for? To look what we are doing to replicate it in their country. That they are coming here for, to see what we are doing. And the opposition that doesn't have a plan, doesn't have a vision, doesn't know anything about agriculture, coming here can talk about agriculture. That's the Mr. Speaker, if you look at the entire agriculture sector, we have seen a renewed interest. We have seen a renewed interest in this sector. This sector is moving and moving rapidly, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the new crops, in the coconut industry, we have expanded coconut cultivation by almost 6,500 acres. Mr. Speaker, you want to hear about catfish? Let me tell you about catfish. Mr. Speaker, in 2017, the USDA wrote the government then. The USDA wrote the government, the APNU AFC government, and tell them to get them house in order, they're going to put a ban on catfish. They ignore it, and we had a ban on catfish. That's the catfish girl. Yeah. So, Mr. Speaker, now we are trying to get that ban lifted back again, and we are very close to get that lifted so that our farmers and fisher folks can export back to the United States. Mr. Speaker, we said we were going to new crops. We have young people today are involved in high-value crops. We are making young people shareholders of companies. We have the Agriculture Innovation Entrepreneurship Program that was launched by His Excellency the President. To date, we have over $25 million in that company, and young people will receive dividends from that company as shareholders. We are empowering young people. We have an objective in the Ministry of Agriculture where 35% young people and women have to be involved in all the projects in this ministry.
Thank you, Minister. You've actually consumed your 100% of your first presentation. We need an extension.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask for the honourable member to be given 5 minutes to conclude his very excellent presentation.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. You have 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, quickly, what we will be doing, we will start very shortly, we will start prawns production. Annually, we will see almost $150 million coming out from this project for young people and women. We have started cut roses project, where single mothers are benefiting from cut rose project. Today, we are producing 55% of the roses needed in Guyana. And very shortly, we will produce all the roses for the needs of our country. Mr. Speaker, as I'm speaking here, we have modern infrastructure going up. Right now, there's an abattoir for $598 million being constructed at Anvawak. We have the 10 prawn spawn at Anvawak. Probably the honorable member never went there. I went to number 5. We have over 900 rods of canals being done at number 5. We have Ithaca canals being done. In the livestock industry, what we are doing in the livestock industry, we are improving the breeds of animals that we have. Last year, we brought in 63 breeding bulls, which we shared to farmers. We have increased our artificial insemination program. We started a new program, you call it embryo transplant, where last year we had 50 successful pregnancy in our farm at Ibini. And this year we'll do another 250 from a company from Brazil that are doing embryo transplant in the capital of Guyana. So, Mr. Speaker, all those things are enhancing the agriculture sector. We have a $20 million investment by DDL in a dairy farm at Moblissa. Those are the things that we're talking about. Mr. Speaker, this year, honey production, we are bringing in 3 specialists from Cuba by the end of this month to start work with young people and women to increase our apiary in this country so that we can increase honey production. Mr. Speaker, all those development, all those are plans for the agriculture sector, and I need about 2 hours to go through the plans so that they can hear what we are doing. Mr. Speaker, in the fishery and aquaculture sector, we have seen a tremendous improvement. 75% growth in the aquaculture sector. We have seen new species of shrimp and fishes. So, Mr. Speaker, those are all plans that we have. Mr. Speaker, you know, this APNU AFC opposition, they cannot ever see the seat of power in this country again because of their inept performance from 2015 to 2020. They come in here with false narrative, feeling that the people will buy those narratives. They are wrong. They are wrong, Mr. Speaker. You know what they did? They try to deceive the entire world and squat 5 months in government just to derail the process, the democratic process of this country. You feel anybody will trust them once again? Never. Never in the history. So, Mr. Speaker, Budget 2024 is yet another example of visionary leadership and dedication to improve the lives of all Guyanese in all 10 regions of this country. Mr. Speaker, 97.6 billion will support initiatives with cutting-edge technology, promote diversification, and pave the way for resilience. Mr. Speaker, during their tenure, their lack of initiative for agricultural development underlines a distinct link of lack of vision, leading to a notable stagnation of progress within the economy. We are not moving around like shadows. We, through prudent leadership, are constantly in touch with the people across this country, listening to them, hearing their issue, what they want, for they have a big say in what we do. We know what they want because we listen to what they want. We heard their cries and saw their tears when the burden were placed on their backs by the opposition. Many of those cries were related to the agriculture sector, which was mismanaged and derailed under the said opposition when they were in government. They sidelined the agriculture and demoralized the farmer. Their mismanagement led to our country losing its leadership in agriculture within the region. A shocking reality, but not surprising given the dismal track record of the opposition. Mr. Speaker, today Guyana is leading in agriculture within the region again, not by magic, but by responsible leadership. And only recently, I accompanied His Excellency to Costa Rica, where he was awarded the first award by ICA for his proactive leadership in CARICOM. So, Mr. Speaker, the record of this government stands for itself, and we will continue to run this country prudently. We will continue to bring development to the people of our country, and we will regale them to opposition for the rest of their life, and the PVP Civic will prevail. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.